give me, the more energy you get back. All right, we have a clicker. Awesome, guys. First and foremost, I want to start and say thank you for showing up to. A lot of people now, they're asleep. and the reason why they're asleep, as you walk through the world, you do know you got very few people, and let's take a step to make a change in lives, to make a difference in the generations that are to come. And the cool part, those of you that don't know me, just maybe these slides may work, may not work. I kind of go off script, just so you know. I fill the room. No different than you guys should do in sales. So, I'm super excited to be here. A couple reasons. I'm going to talk a little bit about my story real quick, just so you guys can get to know me a little bit, and then we can talk about contractor excellence, what I truly believe that's inside of every single one of you in this room. But I want to first start saying thank you to God. Without God, I wouldn't be here today. Just so you know. Second, I want to say thank you to this beautiful woman right here in the corner. This is my mother, Maria. Third, my beautiful wife that's at home. These are pillars in my life that made the man that's on the stage today. And the reason why I want to speak about that real quick is I tell a story a little bit. Last year in PainCon, I opened up a little bit more. I want to respect my mom's story, so I won't go too deep into that, because she went through it even worse than I did. But I'm going to talk about programming today. I'm going to talk about the subconscious mind. I'm going to talk about what you can get rid of, what you can rewrite. I may not talk too much about contracting today. I may not talk too much about SOPs. I'll let the other speakers do that for me. Because the one thing I do believe is mindset. And if you're stuck, you can't do anything without getting unstuck. You can have the perfect, best blueprint ever. But if this guy gets in the way, I promise you guys, you're in this rat race. It doesn't feel so good. Do you guys feel good being in a rat race? All right, good. So I'll start back with my little young age, Mr. Joel Mercado. I'm always vulnerable about my story. I always talk about what's going on with my dad and what happened to me. Come into the stages and start talking to other people, and why I connect on the coaching with you guys. My dad's a paranoid schizophrenic. You guys can only imagine what that does to somebody. Struggle with mental health, and I got obsessed. I wanted to go, why do people do what they do? Isn't that an important tool to find out, to understand, to learn how to connect, to learn how to change, to know how to make a difference in other people's lives? It starts with you first, right? So, like I said, I'm not going to say too much about my mom's story, but thank you, Mom, for everything. She actually programmed my mind from a young age. She kept saying, Joel, whatever you say you can always do it. Don't worry about what we're going through. She protected me from physical and mental abuse through my whole childhood. She took me to the games. She was my biggest cheerleader. And the funny fact was, I wasn't even going to talk about that today. And then she says, hey, I'll be there today. This is the first time she gets to hear me speak. Thank you. So I'm going back to my protector here at home. She always protected me. I remember the days that she'll be crying, reading me a story when I was a baby. That's where I found my strength from this woman. She was such a good leader. She didn't sit there and cry at night and just say, poor me. She got up every single day and said, I have a family to take care of. I have to be an example. I can't let my sons see my weakness. Isn't that wild, guys? Thanks, Mom. All right. Fast forward. Today, I'm proud to say I'm a certified hypnotherapist, certified neuropsychologist, certified in NLP, so this is what you guys are gonna learn today. How can you change your mind? How can you have a better direction? How can you change the story of your people? How can you lift up your team? But it always starts with self, right? Self-leadership, right? I want to say thank you too to Jason, man, giving the word of God. He's talking about leadership. He's talking about heart, because when they say leaders lead, they lead with the heart first. You have to be a servant. It's not about me, it's about you. You have to give a helping hand before you can rise them up. Understand that, guys. If you fall in the hole where your people are in, you're both stuck, aren't you? As leaders, you have to grab them. You have to show them the way. But it starts with you. What are you doing outside of work? Are you partying? Are you doing all the things that aren't working for you to help show your team what a leader looks like? Are you wasting time? Are you allowing this bad music just get in your head and start messing with your minds? Are you educating yourself every day so you can bring it back and pour the energy your team needs? I don't know. I'm asking you those questions for you to ask that question to yourselves. How you guys feeling? All right, good. Good. I hope I don't lose you guys. We'll see what we have on here. Rise. I chose rise because I talk about fear. There's two types of fears that I believe in. If you guys want to write this down, write down fear. Usually when you hear fear, you feel negative, don't you? You can either fear everything and run, which most people do, or you guys could face everything and rise. Same word, different feeling, different action, different results. You guys ever hear of the bison story where they say cattle run away from the storm, but bison run through the storm? They understand. Isn't that crazy that they understand that the bison goes, I need to go through the storm so I don't get caught in it? Which one are you? Are you the bison? Are you the cattle? Man, let me tell you, I always avoided things when I was young. I was like, that's a hard conversation. We're going to skip that one, right? And when I first got into entrepreneurship, same thing. Man, I love these people. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I might not tell them the truth because I know what it felt like for me. And then I realized I learned through the hardships. I was like, actually, the truth will set them free. The faster I went to my team and said, hey, look at yourself, look in the mirror. What are you doing? Was the faster I noticed the changes. It sucks, guys. Those of you that know me, I'm like super nice. Like behind stage and everything else, behind the camera, I'm super nice. I want to hug you. I want to coddle you, right? But I realize when I do that, that also doesn't serve you. Me being real and honest with you, telling the things you don't want to hear is what I learned that fast-tracked my people to success, okay? And you may like me, you may not. But at the end of the day, I go to bed, sleep just fine knowing I did the right thing. So I ask you guys, are you doing the right thing? Are you holding back because of your fears? Or are you pushing your team? Are you looking out for them? Are you showing them the way, right? One thing I love, we talk about John C. Maxwell, is a great author, just so you guys know. Pick up his books, 5 Levels of Leadership, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. These books changed my life. They talk about the law of navigation. So if you go back to what Lucas was saying when he was talking about Napoleon, right? You can have the plan, you can have the way, you can have the blueprint, but then greed gets in the way and his men died. Well, they talk about that in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. One planned out and mapped it all out to protect his people. The other one was in a rush to try to get to the end. And when he rushed to get to the end, they didn't survive. You guys are going to hear a commonality on stage today, by the way. We're all going to talk about principles. We're all going to talk about non-negotiables. We're all going to talk about leadership. I want you to really take it in today, guys, okay? And like I said, I want to see how I can help you guys out today. We'll see if I really follow this. When I talk about rise today, I want you to realize, I want you to ignite, I want you to shift, and I want you to elevate. And that's by making a decision today, okay? Now, when you realize, you have to audit. Well, what's the audit part? You guys have to review what you guys are doing. You have to pay attention to your behaviors. You have to pay attention to your patterns. Notice what Jason said, the KPIs, the guy had no idea all year round he's been losing money because he's not paying attention. So I always recommend everybody every day, you should sit down, you should journal, you should talk about what were your wins, what are some of your losses daily. What do you think is going to happen at the end of the year? Compounds very quickly, doesn't it? I know a lot of owners, they don't pay attention to anything, and every quarter they're like, oh yeah, let's see how well we're doing. Don't you think you're a quarter too late? How are you going to adjust every quarter? You should be adjusting daily. Daily. Every single day. Adjust. Execute. You'll see the wins, guys. It's quite simple. Now, I'm going to give you guys some framework. I want you to write this down. When you talk to your team, be careful in what you say. This is the NLP side of me. I always say, what did you do well? What could you have done differently? Write that down. When I say, what did you do wrong? What happens to you guys? Anybody? Shut down? You defend? Get defensive? Why does that happen? Insecurity. Where's the insecurity come from? Fear. Oh, isn't that something? Ooh. And then when I say, what could you do better? What happens? What does your mind start to tell you guys? What was that again? Okay, that's a good mindset to have. What else? If I'm a leader and I tell you, what did you do wrong? What could you have done better? What else happens to that better side? Spit it out, guys. No worries. What is it? Ego gets in the way? Okay, we could work with that a little bit. What else? Feel more encouraged to do better? That might be possible. Depends where you're coming from. Get defensive. Why do you get defensive? Okay, why do you feel like you're getting attacked? Someone's criticizing you, so why do you feel like someone's criticizing you? Oh, it insinuates you didn't do your best the first time. Guess where that comes from, guys? The story you were given. What you were brought up by. The teachers that taught you that. The people in your family that taught you that. Your next door neighbor that taught you that. The bully that picked on you taught you that. I'm here to tell you, you better crush that today. Okay? In fact, we're not going to use this. I got so hyped up, I'm not even going to do the slides. So, what do I mean by that? Okay, so I love NLP. I like reprogramming. Like I said, I gave thanks to my mom because she gave me nothing but positivity. And so fact that I was an over-optimistic, right? I was a hopeless romantic. Everything you could say, I'm telling you, it came from this woman, right? I was always optimistic. Didn't matter. I could have gotten beaten up and been like, man, there's got to be something great coming after this, right? So I give thanks to that because I know some of you probably didn't have that person in your life. I know that. But I'm here to tell you guys today, you get to rewrite your story today. You get to make a conscious decision today to make a difference today. But you know what's crazy? Only 10% of you in this room will actually do something today. My job is to turn that to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, almost to 100. The reason why I had that intro video is to show you statistically because of what I teach, because I teach psychology. I don't teach you numbers. I don't teach you a pathway only. I teach you how to understand why you are in the way. So 90% of my students are seven-figure earners already. That's not done by mistake. That's built by design. That's why I got into psychology. When I teach you sales, I don't teach you a script and go, hey, just so you know, this is Joel with the painting company. You lost them. I connect with my people. I say, hey, what brings you in? What can I do? Why did you choose us? I get in their mind and I let them sell me. Isn't that interesting? And then when I coach you guys, I teach you why you do what you do, because you better change it. Because if not, you're going to get in the way. It doesn't matter what I tell you till I'm blue in the face. You're not going to follow what I tell you. Does that make sense? So then if you do that, what makes you think your people are going to follow? So let's dig deep on the psychology today. I want to help you guys, okay? So I tell you, you have subconscious programs. Did you guys know your brain operates just like a computer, right? What happens when you have a computer that has a whole bunch of tabs open, bunch of windows? What happens? Slows down. What do you think happens to your brain? Same exact thing, right? Same exact thing. When I go, oh, dude, I want to go open up this remodeling business, and I have my painting company, and I want to do floor coatings today, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and you do nothing. How many of you guys relate to that? That's me. My wife looked at me. I was like, I'm going to build 5 businesses in 5 years, and this is what I'm going to do. Even though I did do that, it sucked. I wish I stayed at one and just built the living crap out of it, right? So, when I talk about psychology, just so you guys know, did you know 2% of your brain is actually allowing you to make conscious decisions? Notice why I said only 10% of you, when you make a decision today, you're going to make a change in your life. That's because of your brain. That's because 2%, you can actually make a conscious decision. 98% is from the subconscious mind, which means you don't even know why you do what you do, but you do it and you get the results and you start to go, why? Why can't I change? Why can I not do this? Well, guess what? All you're doing is reinforcing your mind, the belief system you're telling yourself. You understand that, right? So when you guys make that shift, you guys got to start paying attention to behaviors and patterns. Well, how do you pay attention to behaviors and patterns if we fear telling ourselves the truth? If we avoid having those hard conversations with us? If we avoid having that conversations with our spouse? How do you expect to change? All right, guys. Am I losing you? You guys good? It's good. All right. So no night. How do we night? You just did there. I changed state of mind immediately. We call those things. Watch when you're talking to these other guys that are leading on stage, and they snap, telling their mind, yeah, I'm excited. I'm in an excited state. When you watch your favorite athletes, who's a big football fan here? Anybody? My man. Who's your favorite player? All right, I don't watch football, so it's all good. What does that dude do every time he celebrates physically? Every single time, right? He does it automatically almost, right? Here's the cool part, guys. I'm going to give you a tool today. You can create that today. It could be this. It could be a slap. It could be this. It could be this. It could be whatever you do that you anchor excitement with so that you can change the state of mind so that when you feel you're going down a way you don't want to go, you can tap right into that higher state. It's called an anchor. I didn't think I was going this direction today to teach psychology, actually, but we'll have fun with it. So, what do I mean by that? So when I'm connecting too, right, if I'm also talking to customers, I'm also paying attention to what they're doing. Do you ever talk about tonality? Do you guys train your people on tonality, right? Do you guys teach your people on what they look like, mirroring? Do you guys teach your people on size, how they speak, the ooh, the ah? Are you guys paying attention to those things when you're doing sales? right? So those of you that have heard me speak before, I talk about this all the time. 80% of effective listening is body language. 10% is the literal words coming out of their mouth. And the last 10% of those sighs, the ooh, right? Pay attention, guys. If you're trying to level up your game, you got to learn these things, okay? So I'm trying to help you guys out a little bit on that. But if you come into my home and you look like poopy pants, what do you think you're going to do with your customer? Right? Or the last sale you had didn't go so well, you guys were so focused, or your teammates called you, or your employees called you, and you had a bad phone call, and you bring that into your next client, and your client is just trying to have a good experience, and you're bringing that with you. Be conscious of that, guys. I see some head shaking. You know, we're connected on that, huh? Right? I'll tell you guys a quick story. This was fun for me. Here in Arizona, I used to live here in 2006. This is where I started my sales career. At that time, I used to do pre-sales in gyms, so I would literally sell a gym membership. I'm aging myself a little bit. We used to have the carbon copy slips. Anybody remember those? You get a credit card, you're like, swipe, right? Now you guys are just like, tap. I used to sell gyms that didn't even open yet. They didn't even have a building. It was just straight dirt. So if you guys go to Higley and Baseline in Gilbert, Arizona, that was the first gym I opened when I was 20. And I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn psychology. I had to learn how to talk to people. I remember going to the gym and I see all these guys, they're killers, they're sailors, right? They're like, yeah, they're jacked. And they're going in, and the hardest part is this, right? You got someone who's 50 pounds overweight, and they're just like, yeah, let's go. This is what we're going to do. Yeah. What do you think happens to that person? I don't feel comfortable right now. I want that. Here's this skinny little Joel, right? I was like my son's size right there, Jacob. Right? And I'm like, hey, what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? These other salesmen are walking them around the gym, and they're like, hey, there's the cardio machine, there's the weights, there's the group fitness classes, there's the childcare, there's the pool. Who do you think's listening better? The guy asking the questions. Who do you think's directing the change? The guy asking the questions, right? And I give these stories so they connect with you guys. That's why I like storytelling. You're going to notice that about me, to give you guys examples. But if I didn't ask those questions and I did exactly everybody did, and I didn't go back to what's my why, what's my purpose, which is transforming people's lives, because I had to transform mine, and it needed to start with me first. Well, then how do I do that if I'm not asking questions to find out what it's going to take to get you to your goals? So by a show of hands right now, I'm going to challenge you guys, and don't be embarrassed, by the way. When's the last time you sat down with your team and did goal setting with them? When's the last time you guys actually talked about their personal lives, and you can connect the personal with the business, using your business as a vessel and actually showing them how to get there? Raise your hands. Have you guys done that in the last month? Okay. 60 days? 90 days? A year? Okay. So do you mind if I ask you a question, my man? It's been a year, right? How's that working for you? Ups and downs. And when you say ups and downs, what does that mean? They get distant. What would happen if you did this every 30 days or 90 days? A little more dialed in. And what happens when you get a little more dialed in month by month? You get more production. See how simple that is, guys? But why are we avoiding these things? Life. Life gets in the way. Now, do you believe that? 50-50. All right, I want you to think about that today. because you're accepting that. And I'm here today to tell you guys, stop accepting the 50-50. Stop accepting the 10%. Stop accepting the 60, the 70. Right, my man? 100%. Right? Get rid of the story, guys. Get rid of the story. Rewrite your story. How do you rewrite your story? Write your goals down. Work backwards, right? How am I going to do this? How do I show up better? How do I find the right people? You're in the room right now, guys. Gosh. Here's the cool part, too. I'll tell you, 2 years ago, I came here to Andy Elliott's event. At that time, I said $2,000 for a ticket is way too much money. I'm not going to sign up. This is coming from a mindset coach, by the way. Right? I was like, I'm good. My businesses are doing well right now. Right? I was like this, trying to put my credit card. I was like, $2,000, dude, that's a lot of money. But you know why I did it? I outgrew my mentor of 13 years. I felt misaligned. I felt like I was making decisions based off somebody else. I started making really poor leadership decisions. I started not showing up in my marriage. That hurt me, man. When I had my conversation with my wife, she's like, you need to make a difference. This isn't the Joel I married. Whew, I was like, I'm going to Andy's place. I'm going back to Ignite, huh? I remember I was going to have a lunch here, guys. One of the girls in the Elliott group, I'm just like this by myself. I didn't bring my team. I just wanted to see how can I reinvent myself. This was 2 years ago, by the way, guys. I thought I was on the top. I'm sitting there. I'm like this. As you can tell, I'm not too shy, right? But I was shy that day. I was in a room with the Elliott army. I was like, yo, these guys are crazy. Woo! I was like, this is intimidating. And a girl taps my shoulder and she goes, smile. I didn't even realize the self-doubt, the uncomfortability I was in, standing in line for lunch, the opportunities that I had. I was just so shut down, like, what am I doing here? Once she did that, I was like, whoa. That's how much people are paying attention. But let's go back to culture now, right? Why did I come here? Because I needed that ignition. I needed a spark. I just needed that one more thing. Somebody that was at a higher level. Somebody that can just grab my soul and speak to it. That's why I came here. Right? That's why you guys are here today. You've probably been asleep. What did I say earlier today? You're walking next to people that are sleeping. They're literally walking around the world. There's zombies everywhere pretty much. They don't have a clue. That's why you guys are here today. Make the decision today, guys. Right? My pastor, hopefully I don't chop this verse wrong, but one of my favorite verses says, faith without works is dead. You can pray, you can want all these things, but you need to take action. Right? Thank you. And I say that because I tell people you can win the lottery. You think you're going to win the lottery and you didn't buy a ticket? Come on. Right? You can pray all day, but if you don't take action, how are you going to get blessed? Right? How are you going to bless the people? How are you going to receive blessings? Jason talked about the coward that was putting the coin underneath the freaking ground because he was saving it. You don't get blessed by saving it. You get blessed by giving. So start with yourselves today, please. And I ask you because I'm here just passionate when I see people saying, I'm still in the same seat that I was last time. My marriage sucks. I'm addicted to porn. I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted. Pisses me off. I get passionate because I was an alcoholic. Notice I said was. I don't identify by that. Make sense? So, if you guys are dealing with this is the cool part about my program. Yeah, they do whatever they do financially. I don't care about that. What I care about is when they tell me those stories. Hey, Joel, I quit smoking. I'm like, wow. Hey, Joel, I stopped drinking. Wow. Hey, Joel, I'm about to get married. Cam, God bless you, brother. My man Cam's getting married here in Sedona from Pennsylvania. I had the opportunity to meet his soon-to-be wife and give a word to them that I wish I heard before I got married. This is what leadership is, guys. Passing on the baton, instilling the things that you want to instill and leave it in their hearts. Makes sense, guys? But it starts with you guys. You need to change. You need to make the difference. You need to show the way, right? Don't be absent in anything. So I'm challenging you guys with that, okay? How much time we got? We got 12 minutes. I told you I went off script. I can't follow scripts. You'll learn that from me real quick. All right, S means shift. So when you ignite, you find that spark, you shift. Isn't that awesome? And here's the cool part, guys. I teach my students all the time, just so you know, about 11 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, you're not the same person anymore. Do you believe that? Why? What's that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that awesome? You're not the same person a few seconds ago I just asked that question. That's how quick you can change, guys. But don't let this get in the way. Don't let that tell you that you can't. You need to start changing that. You need to start tapping in, guys, right? And when you start to find out that that's becoming a problem, you need to make a shift again. That's why I'm giving you this recipe of rise. The way to rise when it comes to contracting excellence is you need to realize, so you need to audit. You have to be aware. You need to find that ignition. Who are you surrounded by, right? What people do you have around you that's going to help lift you up? Or what are the people that are bringing you down? And then you have the shift. But here's the cool part. The E is elevate, right? You elevate. When you put all those recipes together, you start to elevate. You start to rise, guys. But notice, what did I give thanks to? First thing on my speech was God, my faith. Okay? I know I'm not talking too much paint. You'll get them later today. I want you guys to make a difference today. Is that fair to ask from you guys? I'm sorry, I can't hear you guys. All right. Just making sure you still. Guys, you have to again, right? Tell you every single test. I can give you an SOP, a blueprint, but I want you to make decisions. I want you getting your head out of your way and start doing things. Okay. Now we do have a little bit of time. I have a 30-day mind challenge. We're gonna go ahead. Lucas, can we send this to everyone because of the Wi-Fi? I created a 30-day mindset challenge. What changed my mindset? I used to have triggers, traumas you can only imagine when it comes to abuse, right? You get triggered, you get angry, you don't know why you do what you do. So I saw a hypnotherapist about 7 years ago, actually 10 years ago. Gosh, time's flying. I've seen psychologists, psychiatrists, you name it, guidance counselors. None of it worked, okay? When I went to this hypnotherapist, we started teaching prompting. We started teaching all these other things, how to heal. You guys know who Tony Robbins is? You know how he talks about heal the boy, you heal the man. Heal the girl, you heal the woman, right? The moment I accepted that, the moment I forgave my father before he even said anything to me, I was healed in that moment. I didn't even need to hear the words come out of his mouth, and now we have one of the best relationships we've ever had in our lives. Right? Now, obviously, I can tie that to God and my faith as well, of course, right? But I wanted to talk a little bit about the psychology again, right? So if I was able to heal from that and get rid of triggers, then I started saying, what else could I do? So I have these prompts. It's a 30-day mindset challenge for you guys. We'll share that with you. It's an audio of me scripting your mindset, giving you guys prompts to make changes every single day mentally. That's for free. All I ask is you guys DM me and tell me how it's going for you. That's all my ask is. Obviously, you probably think I was give you something paint related again, but again, as you know, I'm not going to talk about paint today. Okay? Now, I'll leave you guys with this. I know I said I went off script. I'll give you one last story real quick, okay? I remember when I first started painting, I was kind of left to just do whatever I had to do. No one taught me how to paint. My mentor that brought me in, remember 13 years? Just said, Joel, COVID happened. I want you to step down. Even though I was an owner, I want you to step down. I want you to go from production management, and I want you to just go straight to foreman. Let's just cut some costs. I was like, I don't even know how to turn on a sprayer. What do you mean? You want me to be a foreman? Like, what are you talking about? And I learned very quickly, very fast. But I tell this story all the time that I was left alone in Pacific Beach on this house that really should have been a bid for like 40 grand. We bid it for 10,000 out of desperation because we didn't know what we didn't know, right? And then we're like, well, we need some work. And guess what? Joel, one of the leaders, is now out of the picture. He's on the brush, never held a brush a day in his life, never held a roller ever, right? This is 7 years, probably 8 years now. I was left alone on a job site, doing paying orders, answering phone calls from customers pissed off because the quality of work's going down, right? I just remember just being on the deck, sun just beaming on me. I just wanted to quit. I was like, this business isn't worth it. I don't want to do this. Call my wife up. She's like, Joel, you don't quit. That's not what you do. Get back out there. Do what you got to do. Fast forward. Obviously, I didn't quit. I paint this house. It took me 4 weeks by hand, brush and roll. It was a horrible experience, but one of the best experiences before, right? That's the cool part. And I learned a very valuable lesson there. I was like, wow, my leader left me there to dry. And literally just told me, hey, figure it out. We need to save money. Hey, I need you to work more hours. Hey, and by the way, he's making a lot of money. I'm staying on this little salary that I had at that time, right? And with this little salary that I have, I could barely afford rent in San Diego, California for 5 years straight. And that's when I made a decision. I'm going to get back to leadership. I'm going to get back to coaching. I'm going to get back to what I believe, what's my purpose. I'm going to start teaching my people a better way. So I'm going to leave you guys with this today. Write these questions down. Start paying attention also to every speaker and watch the commonality of what they're going to talk to you about today. Okay? It's not done by mistake. There's a reason why they're all saying the same things. There's a reason why they're where they're at. Let me tell you, I'm no more talented than you guys, just so you know. I just put in work, I educated myself, and I have a strong belief system. That's it. So ask the question today, why am I here? What one action today I will do differently? And who should I apologize to today? Again, it starts with you. It starts with your healing journey. It starts with acceptance. And that's where you'll see change. Fair enough, guys? All right, guys. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much for being here today. I feel so blessed. God bless you guys all. And I have one ask for you today, only one. Make sure that if you see someone down, give them a hug, give them love, tell them we're all here for the same reasons. Don't let anyone, not one person in this room, be that guy 2 years ago with his head down, trying to eat lunch by himself, feeling alone. Be that gal that tapped on the shoulder and made a shift in me that day, okay? All right, guys, have an amazing day, an amazing event. I love you guys. Peace.